Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, a little winded there, I'm going to have a real quick talk about having too many irons in a fire. So a lot of times when you get into business for yourself, the most earliest form of business that you're going to be doing is a production form of business. Oftentimes you don't have the luxury of being able to sell high-priced items enough that are like luxury items or custom work where you don't have to take and churn out a bunch of one thing every single day. And so therefore, because you're lacking that luxury, because you're just getting started, it makes sense to you that the more irons I can put in my fire, the better off I'll be, because the faster I will be. And of course, the faster I am, the more money I make. And all these things are absolutely correct. And those are all very accurate statements. But they come with a trade-off. Whenever you leave a bunch of irons in the fire all at once, what you end up with is you do end up with a speed boost for a short period of time, or a production boost, if you will. But what you sacrifice is a quality boost. So you sacrifice your quality control in an effort to maintain a certain pace. And that is poor for your business going forwards. You need to strive the best you can to take and do things at scale. What do you mean by scale, Roy? Doing things at scale is essentially doing something, producing a product that you can easily produce. And at scale means you can do it at the speed in which it needs to be done, or that the quickest way you can get the thing done, and it still be a quality product. So being able to do that takes time. So do not fall into the trap of thinking that you need to produce a ton of things in a short amount of time and throwing a lot of ironwork in the fire. Having too many irons in the fire causes a few issues, one of which is too much scale, oxygen, burning, potential risk of burning, things like that. Decarburization, if you're working with higher carbon steels, you can suffer from that. If you're working in a gas forge, it's always been said that a gas forge is great for production work, and it is, because you can throw a bunch of irons in the fire, but they never take and say the second part of that. Gas forges are great for production work when you have a power hammer or a press. They are not great tools for production work when it is you against the machine. When it's man against the machine, you are not going to be in good shape. If anything, you're going to be anything but in good shape at the end of the day, and you will eventually feel all those years of hammer blows on your body if you're not careful. So you cannot take and beat your machinery, so therefore you need to watch how much you feed your machinery so it doesn't get out of hand on you. Now in this fire, I've got kind of a reducing fire. Sometimes I'll stoke it up here, but I've got 2 irons in this coal fire. About the max that I can do at any one given time, depending on the complexity of the forging that I'm trying to do, is 5. I can get up to 5 irons in a coal fire, but that's for doing a simple operation like just drawing tapers or rough forming tapers and then throwing them on the ground, like something in the event of like doing tent stakes or something of that nature. When it comes to more complex forgings like tooling and things like that, the max amount of things I prefer to have in the fire, in the coal fire, is like 2 at any one given time. So in a gas forge, maybe 5 at any one given time. And the reason why is when I fire up the gas forge and I'm doing a production of something, whether it be a bunch of tooling for myself or maybe a bunch of ornamental elements, I usually have the power hammer running, or I have the press up and going, and I'm not sitting here trying to take and beat the clock against the gas forge. That is a very bad thing to be doing, is trying to take and beat the gas forge. It's going to win every time, and it's going to work you to death and potentially work you into an early grave. So you need to be thinking about these things when you're doing this as a business. Usually as a hobbyist, this isn't such a big deal, but there's a lot of you guys and gals out there that are starting into this, selling your work, trying to make a little bit of a living or some side income, and you see guys online that have been doing it for a great number of years, or they've built up a ton of tooling, really knocking out some stellar products, and you say, man, I need to compete at that level. But then you forget that, again, they have tooling, they have fixtures, they have jigs, they have worked a really long time to make sure that they know what each one of those pieces of equipment and tooling do and how to use them to the best of their ability and to their advantages. You do not have that luxury. You need to learn to take and make things at your pace and at your scale, not what some other smith's hypothetical thought process is that you need to be able to produce things at, because that will ultimately backfire on you. Now, there's guys, some great guys out there to watch that have just production mode times 10. One of those is Liam Hoffman. I'll put a link to his channel down in the description down below. He makes axes of all kinds and descriptions, and he's got other people, a whole team of people that are working for him, guys, filmographers, things like that. But he produces axes at scale. And if you look at his equipment, and if you watch his workflow and his process, he has it figured out down to the absolute letter. If I were to try to produce axes at the scale that Liam Hoffman is doing, I would be dead in a week. There's no way I could do it. He has learned to take and set up all of his own processes and set up tooling and his specialized tooling and things that work for him over an amount of time, a good amount of years, doing exactly that, perfecting, making his form of axes. Another guy that you should go check out is Brent Bailey over at Brent Bailey's Forge. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description down below. And you can also find him over on Instagram, same thing with Liam Hoffman, and check out the work they're doing there. Brent Bailey, I have never seen a guy work so efficiently at forging hammers under a power hammer. It's insane. He can knock out hammers in just about anywhere from about 2 to 3 heats. He can bust out an entire hammer, an entire cross-peen hammer, and it's absolutely mind-boggling. But for you at your home forge, forging out of your coffee can forge or your dirt forge or just a hand crank forge like this, it's not going to cut it without the tools, the experience, and the expertise and the equipment to be able to make that happen. So be kind to yourself. You do not need to take and rush your blacksmithing endeavors. Speed will come with skill, and skill will come with time. So they're all interlinked together, and you can't get out of that circle. Speed comes with skill, and skill comes with time. So you have to spend the time in order to get the skill, in order to take and have the speed at whatever that thing is that you spent time on. So they're all interwoven like that. It's a self-defeating prophecy for you to try to just increase speed without having the skill or the time. It's all going to take and fall down and crumble around your ears. So don't do that. It's a mistake that I made earlier on in my blacksmithing endeavors, and I've paid for it in many years since with all sorts of other issues. Some that people know about, carpal tunnel and things of that nature, and some that people don't. So please be careful, be kind to your body. You cannot escape that circle, that forging circle. Again, speed comes with skill, skill comes with time. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to get back to forging here this evening. This is probably in the morning in the AM because that's when we post it for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you all, and thank you so much for watching this video. And if you'd like to support what I do here at Christ-Centered Ironworks, check out our website over at blacksmithpdfs.com and consider purchasing a power hammer plan and or a tooling bundle to take and help you in your career as a blacksmith. So that's it for today. As always, God bless, and we'll catch you on the next one.